I'm looking rough. I ain't got my barber right now, man. You look clean cut.
Hey, some people went all in on toilet paper. I went all in on pomade. So if you're looking for any hair product, come to Baltimore because I got that thing on complete
Oh man, you gotta
lockdown.
ship it to me. Hey, look. We got to social distance. Can't fly.
Working from home with Washburn rolling on here with a special guest, Whitney Mercilus of the Houston Texans. You know him as that fearsome outside linebacker, has been with the Texans for 8 seasons, entering his ninth season. Whitney, thanks for taking the time, man. How we doing?
Man, no problem. Appreciate you having me, and I'm doing well. Just staying sane over here. That's it.
That's the goal. Stay sane, stay safe as best we can. And I mentioned that 8 years with the Texans and a first round pick back in 2012. You've now signed multiple long term extensions with that organization. Not to say it's rare that people spend that much time with one organization, but it feels like you're now pretty ingrained with that community and that team.
Yeah. It's been a blessing. Just to be able to sign three contracts with the same franchise, which is very, very rare nowadays. It's not like, back in the day when a lot of franchise stuck by their guys, and like their hometown heroes. So it's been a blessing. Very ingrained into this community, have given back so much, and the community has received me very, very well since the time I've stepped through those doors. And just want to continue to keep on doing as much as I can for this community.
And it's been a bit busy offseason for the Texans, and you guys make some moves, and that's normal with every offseason. But on top of that, we find ourselves in this unique setting where you and I are talking to each other from our respective homes, and you guys are now embarking on what I guess could be best described as this virtual offseason. Give us a sense of how that's gone so far with Bill O'Brien, the Texans. Is it a day-to-day thing? How are you guys approaching it?
I'll say this. I'll say that it is the day to day as far as what we're going to know whether we can be inside back in the building or not. But as far as the online learning through virtual, whether it be Zoom or an app we use, which is Discord, it still operates almost as if we're in the classroom, no matter what. So we can hear our coaches clearly. They have live streaming just like Zoom does in order to bring up the screen so that we can see the plays, go through our installs and all that. We have our team meetings like regular to set the precedents for the week as far as what the philosophy is, where we're trying to go, what type of franchise we're trying to be. Are we trying to be all on the same page and all that? And then we go into our position meetings. We learn, and towards the end of the week, we have a unit meeting for like defense, offense, and all that. And we have some fun, crack jokes, and learn some more.
Any funny stories of Zoom meeting gone wrong or camera in an awkward position thus far?
I won't say there was anything like somebody crashed a meeting or something like that, or somebody's phone fell or something. Probably it's happened. I just wasn't able to see it. But we've got a lot of guys who show up, with some interesting backgrounds, with like a cosmic background. I got some crap because you see my background. It's all wine back here, so everybody's
Yeah,
you taking a little wine break. What you doing, man? Big
five
baller.
o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. We've had some people where their screen is all up and you only see half their face, and they look like a creeper. A lot of guys showing up with their shirts off. So it's
Well,
been.
somebody ripped you forgot your sleeves for this one.
Oh yeah, hey, look, I decided, hey, look, I'm at home. I don't have to be in a suit and tie and be ready and all. I'm looking rough. I ain't got my barber right now, man. You look clean cut.
Hey, some people went all in on toilet paper. I went all in on pomade. So if you're looking for any hair product, come to Baltimore because I got that thing on complete
Oh man, you gotta
lockdown.
ship it to me. Hey, look. We got a social distance. Can't fly.
That's right. You mentioned obviously the idea of getting work in, and football is a physical game. You guys need to be in tip top shape, and I have to imagine. I know that I tried to buy some weights online, and it was impossible to get anything. And I've heard stories of people having to wait till July to get some stuff. How were you prepared for making sure you had any version of a gym?
Man, it is so true. So true. I mean, a lot of people had to wait. So when we started to go into lockdown, um, pretty much I was like, oh snap, what am I gonna do? I gotta stay in shape. So I was just like at first I was just running, doing push-ups and all that, but you get to a point where it's just you can only do so much and you can't progress. So that's when the Texans said, hey, look, if you need equipment, we'll send it out to your house. So our organization has been able to hook guys up, whether through their contacts as far as for weights or using equipment from their facility to transfer to guys' houses and stuff like that. Luckily, I know some trainers around town, so they had brought over some like ladders, bands, weights, dumbbells, XYZ, you name it, I got it. So I've been staying in shape that way. And, I looked into Amazon to buy my own. And look, I wasn't going to get anything. I just got a matter of fact, like 2 weeks ago. Oh, like 2 weeks ago. It took that long. I ordered them like probably early March or something like that. But, the entire country has gone crazy by buying everything up.
You left out the best part though. Those early days, you went raw on this and were lifting propane tanks. Is that what I heard?
Man, I was in the backyard. I had like two propane tanks on me. And I was like, man, I just got to get it any way that I can. I ain't recorded no video because, man, I probably should have did that. That would have been some great content.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll probably get back to it though.
it would have been perfect. It would have been perfect. I can't help though to bring up that if you go on social media, you get to see your teammate JJ Watt's legendary workout situation. I think it's a barn out in Wisconsin that he and his brothers
Oh, yeah.
have spent a lot of time in, and now he seems completely in his element, just locked in, able to get some workout in. Is there some jealousy with what JJ's got going on right now?
Ah, man, hey, look, if I had a barn up in Wisconsin, man, I love it too, man. It'd just be a big old country boy just going out there, big old field, got my dogs over there. It'd be nice, man. Hey, I wish I had that, but I got to make do with what I got. And I think I'm doing a pretty dang old good job of it too. So it's staying in shape, maintaining my weight, eating right, eating even more cleaner than probably what I have been, uh, and just by staying home and just cooking.
So now you're at home with your loved one there, and you're having to play chef, maitre d, waiter, waitress, whatever it might be. So give us the best success in terms of a dish that you've prepared, and maybe a failure that left you a bit humbled about maybe what your skills are lacking in the kitchen.
Oh man, that's a great question, man. There's been very little successes, and I'm not tooting on my own horn now. Very little. So, some of the best dishes. Let me think of some complex because we just been in the kitchen just whipping up some crazy things. Just made tacos the other day, Cinco de Mayo. Um, Even though, yes, I know that Cinco de Mayo is not a great. It's for Puebla. The French Revolution and all that. Just for the viewers. And also, we just made some steaks. We've made some Japanese dishes and all that. One of the most difficult things, and it's very simple, is a Japanese omelet. It is so hard to make that because it takes timing, the right heat. It can't be too dry. It can't be too wet. It's got to be perfect. And then you've got to be able to flip it in order to bring it together into a beautiful football shape so that once you cut it, it unfolds and it's nice and creamy. And it is one of the most difficult techniques out there. And I'm still trying to perfect it. I'm close. Probably you'll probably see on an IG story somewhere that there's about 1,000 omelets that are ready for the trash.
Well, that's what they say, and I think French culinary school that one of the most basic but important tests is the ability to cook the perfect omelet. So clearly, that extends to different demographics and parts of the world as well. So I don't think that's outside the world. But what actually makes up a Japanese omelet?
Really, it's not really much of anything. It's just a few eggs. You strain it a few times in order for the to get a silky texture. Also, you might put a little bit of heavy cream in there or in there to keep the creaminess to it. And pretty much, you're just gonna use chopsticks to shake the pan, swirl it around, and cook it to the right timing in order to keep the like a nice wet creamy texture in there and then there's some rice and chicken and everything that you put right on top. But it's just the omelet itself that's more difficult than anything.
I'm impressed by just your ability to describe this thing, Whitney. So whether it tastes good or not, who really cares at this point? Let's shift to entertainment, because the big part of being where we are right now is trying to find ways to pass the day. And after the workout's done, after the virtual meetings with the team are done, you just got to find something to watch. So what's been your weirdest watch? Because I found myself
Don't tell me you
picking
watch Tiger
movies that
King. Don't
are
tell me you
things
watch
I would
that.
never watch in a normal situation.
You watch Tiger King. I can tell.
Oh, no doubt. But I don't even consider that weird. I consider that educational. What not to do.
True, true. Let me see. I've watched so got a chance to watch Ozark. That was great.
Oh, it's classic.
Yes, that was an amazing series. Now I'm like kind of nervous to watch anything else because I don't want to be disappointed. But I am tuning into that The Last Dance about Michael Jordan. That's been pretty dang good too. Just to see the type of mentality that they have, the type of how to build together a championship team. To be honest, having the right pieces in place. First of all, it started with the management itself, the coach, finding the right person. Also, you've got to have your Michael Jordan, your superstar, and then guys that play the roles well. But then also, what I loved about Phil Jackson, he brought the personalities out of each player to be themselves. And to create and allow them to be who they are, especially that was going to translate onto the court. So they were able to be their personality off the field or off the court, and to be it on the court as well too, respective to. And these guys wanted to win. That was one of the most important things. They had an obsession, a drive to win. They were all on the same page. I thought it was pretty cool.
All right, Whitney, I've loosened you up here enough. This is really the highlight to me. I want to play a little game with you. Have you ever heard of the roommate game, where you get to pick whether it's teammates, friends, celebrities, past and present, if you had to live in a house? Well, we're in now a position where we're, again, stuck in our homes for a good
Yeah.
reason. And I'd like for you to survey your roster and pick two teammates that you would happily or reluctantly be quarantined with for, let's say, a few months, because that seems to be the realistic situation for most of us. So let's start on the positive end. Two that you feel like you would be able to be quarantined with.
Quarantine with. Let's see. I'm gonna have to pick my dog, Brendan Scarlett. I'm gonna have to pick my dog, Brendan Scarlett. Let's see who else. Let's see. I can't just go all defense. I gotta go somebody offense. You know what? My dog, Greg Mance. Greg Mance. I'm giving him a little shout out too. O line, no doubt. And
What is it about those guys' personality that makes them good quarantine roommates?
So Brendan Scarlett, he like chill on his grown man vibes. You know what I'm saying? Just he ain't trying to do a whole lot. He just more of a chill guy. Vibe out, quality conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely room with him. And then Greg as well too. Greg, a little bit of he got a little party animal in him too. You know what I'm saying? When we need that guy to turn up, we need a guy. So same thing. You know, he can do a little bit of both. Party, chill, great conversation as well too. Have fun, make the best of quarantining as well too.
Sounds like a good mix. All right, last couple for you. And this is something I picked up on in a previous interview you had, and I thought it really was worth diving into a little bit deeper. If anyone doesn't know, your family is from Haiti. Your Haitian background and is a big part of your life. And nobody or most people would have to know that that's an area of the country or the world that's been hit hard by natural disasters and just things that we can't even imagine as Americans, and how fortunate we are. But now we're dealing with something that has put us in a really vulnerable position. I'm curious how much that part of your history has allowed you to manage this in a healthier way.
You know, where I come from, my family really don't have much. I mean, it's just a very simplistic life. So, everybody's like, man, dang, I miss going to the restaurants. I miss traveling. I miss X, Y, and Z and all that. But with you, I'm just content with, what I have. And, that just stems from being able to visit my family in Haiti, being in a poor country. I mean, dang near the whole entire country is poor. You know, a lot of people don't earn more than $2 a day down there. A lot of political corruption has gone on to say, you know, suffocate the people. You dive back into the history as far as why this country has been always broke is because of paying back a large debt, things like that, being shunned from the world and all that. So it's forced the people to be very simple and be very thankful and very God fearing for everything that they have. So ultimately, you know, that stemmed from my parents on down to me, my brother, and my sister. And you know, during this time, it's like, man, you know what? I'm completely fine being able to just be still in this time. I don't need to look forward to doing at least 20 meetings, moving and shaking everywhere, going to a restaurant and all that. Even though it'd be nice to get, you know, a nice restaurant meal and all that, and traveling to a different country, is just being very content for what you have and being very appreciative of this time that we're not going to get back. And that's the one thing that you never get back is time. You know, being able to spend more time with family, being able to reconnect with those, you know, those relationships in which you haven't talked to, you know, those people for years, being able to be able to fix a lot of broken relationships as well too. This is the time to be able to do that now. And a lot of people miss that a little bit. And I try to remind a lot of people how important this time is, and just to be thankful for where you're at. You know, no matter how strenuous this situation could be. Shoot, you know, my situation is very different from everybody and all that, but I always keep those roots. You know, whether I be, you know, in a simple house back in Akron, Ohio, not having a whole lot, I would find a way in order to be very content, keep my mind active and all that.
Are your parents close? Obviously, they started there, and that's where the roots were. Are they with you in Houston? Or are they still in Ohio?
Yeah, they're here in Houston. They're here in Houston. My brother and my sister are here in Houston. My sister's husband, and they had their first child just last year as well
All
too.
right. Well, we hope everyone's doing well. Whitney, this has been a blast, man. I've always enjoyed watching you play. Starting to get to know you now that we're covering the Texans a bunch more here on CBS, and can't thank you enough for your time.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah. Hopefully, see you down the road here in person.
Yeah, same here.
All
Stay
right,
safe.
bud.
All right now.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.